everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here again with my buddies Dino and Lance. We are going to do WWE Rewind Summerslam 1990. How are you today, fellas?
Not bad, thank you very much.
I'm doing good.
I remember this particular event because it was my first ever live WWE show.
How old was you?
7.
Wow. Now, question is, did you believe wrestling was real?
Yes. Because I'll tell you a story. It's funny you mentioned that. I was like going into 2nd grade, I believe. I was like scared when Earthquake came out because of the way they always build him up, because I thought wrestling was real, that he was literally going to make the room shake.
Innocence is blind, isn't it? Innocence is blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time before when we were kids and we didn't know, it was like finding out about Santa, wasn't it? It's like,
yeah.
But
I've got a story about it when they found out it was fake. Wrestling used to be on British television every 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and for 45 minutes. And what everybody saw, everybody thought it was real. Then they found out. Then a wrestler spilled the beans on everything and said, "We planned this. This is fake. This is what we do." Blah blah blah. It made front page headlines the following day on every newspaper in the country that they've just found out that wrestling was fake. That they said it was not real. It was national headlines.
I think it was like hard copy or inside edition in the States. It was 92 or 93, I want to say. They had like this big expose of where they showed like the guys talking in the ring and doing all this. And I was like maybe no older than 10, and I was like shocked and like horrified.
Well, Lance knows about the stories I got told when I was in the ring. Well, that 3.5 minutes. The things I got, so I was chatting with in that ring was just the funniest things in my life, and it's something I'll always remember. Never forget that.
3 minutes of fame, eh, Dino?
3 minutes, and it's still on YouTube, mate.
Hey, 3 minutes longer than me.
And I think I'm responsible for half the views.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I don't.
That's like, I'd forgotten when I went back and rewatched this. This was the first WWF pay-per-view without Jesse Ventura.
All right.
When they had Roddy Piper fill in for a while.
Oh, bloody hell. Didn't know that one. Oh.
I liked Jesse. I can't remember why he left. I don't know if it was money or...
He had his likeness in a Sega Genesis video game, and Vince had a fit because they had licensing deals with Nintendo and fired him over it.
Oh, there you go.
And apparently Jesse sued him over royalties years later and won.
Yeah, I was listening to Jesse Ventura on talking about something. He says he still gets a check every year from WWE.
Yeah, he said Vince hates giving him the money.
So Jesse says he's probably the most, out of everybody ever now, he's probably made the most money because he gets his check every year no matter what.
Yes. The other thing before we start this, I thought this was crazy because I looked it up on Wikipedia, the card. This is amazing to me. As of this moment, there is 13 guys on this card that are no longer with us.
Wow.
That's crazy, isn't it? No industry in the world is like that so many people die so young. And a lot of them's just weird ways.
Yeah, it's just really like oddball stuff.
I mean, I know I get it there, and I know I get it saying about, well, people have to pass on, and they pass on everything like that. But at that time, we didn't realise over the last 25 years, if you look at the changes that's been happening in wrestling, I mean, a typical wrestler in 1990 would go out, drink, take his pills and everything just to get through the next match and everything, and then he'd become dependent. Now, it is completely different from what they. I mean, maybe these guys, some of them may drink, some of them may not, but the pills and everything now, it's just completely gone out of the business.
Yeah.
I watched that Hacksaw Jim Duggan shoot there on Hannibal's channel last night, the new one, and he was talking about back in the day there in the 80s, and he's saying the only way he could describe it, he says, is like a rock band, or backstage at a rock band. He goes, there was women, there was drugs, there was booze, you name it, it was there.
Yeah, I'll tell you this real quick. I watched a Kevin Nash shoot, and he said the difference is night and day from like when he was there in late 93, early 94. He was like, it was just, like the Wild West. You'd have like, a crazy 500-pound guy or a 7-foot tall guy, and everybody was taking pills and stuff. And he had me laughing because he says, I went back now and it's like you feel like you're at the Abercrombie and Fitch store because everybody looks the same.
They're changing it up a bit now, though, so
yeah.
That's good.
All right, Lance, you're the one that has all these things bookmarked.
Okay, well, the plan is, the first match we're going to do, it'll be, the bubble should say Warlord pins Tito Santana with running power slam.
Okay.
It should say 35-16 approximately.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Everybody hit play.
Okay.
There we go. Warlord should be giving the body slam right now.
Yeah, do you remember this is when they tried to get him and the Barbarian over as single guys?
Yeah, I think, because they just split up the Powers of Pain, hadn't they? Not that long before this.
Yeah, and then not even 6 months later, the Warlord had that feud with Davey Boy.
Yeah, do you know that we never even got to know how that feud started or anything. It was just two guys that were jacked and everything, and who was the biggest guy and who could do a power slam and who could that fucking slick. Look at him. Oh dear.
Man, does Warlord ever look like a steroided up Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Sure. It's like you could just do a picture of Steve Austin 10 years later and say, look what you could have looked like 10 years ago. And but I think on the ultimate jobber, Tito Santana. Was there a better jobber than him on a pay-per-view? Did Tito Santana ever win on a pay-per-view? I can't remember.
I think he won with Strike Force in one of them. So.
And he won on one of the Survivors. It might have been this Survivor Series they're showing because remember they had that one year it was like the ultimate survival match at the end.
Oh, and all the winners had a final match.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So, Mike, do you know? I guess you said you're 9. You probably don't remember where you're sitting at all,
I was
or
all the way up, like where they show these big lights. It's up past that.
And who'd you go with?
My dad.
Your dad took, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll never forget it because when Hulk Hogan came out, I swear the roof was gonna explode. Because this was his first match back from the kayfabe injury that he had.
Yeah.
Where they all thought he was going to retire. And these guys were my favorite tag team.
Easily.
Growing up.
Easily best tag team at that time. There was nobody to touch him. Nobody.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not in the Hall of Fame yet.
I know, it's a shame. I hadn't been exposed to the Road Warriors at this time, so I didn't know them. And when they came out during this match, the crowd went nuts too. So I was like, if I probably would have known them, I would have liked them better.
You're like, look at those guys that look just like Demolition.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
One thing about Demolition, their face paint was horrible. It wasn't the greatest. It looked like they just kind of slapped it on. Let's just do this.
Yeah, like they didn't give a shit.
Crush looks like a reject from Kiss.
Yeah.
It does. It's like that's the stuff that Paul Stanley would wear if he wasn't like a wrestler. He'd be like, oh yeah, we'll get have Crush from WWF, and we'll have that and things. But
yeah, this was when they were transitioning to off of television.
Yeah, this was like when they had the Freebird rule, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Any two wrestlers from a trio.
The story,
I think Axe was hurt or something.
Yeah, the story I heard, because he told it on a shoot interview, was he had a really bad allergic reaction to like shellfish and literally died for a couple minutes, and they had to bring him back to life, and that's why they brought Crush in to kind of not let him work for a while.
You got to say it for Vince. When it comes to people getting injured and he comes up with new storylines, I mean, look at the injuries they had just before Survivor Series last year.
Yeah.
And everybody says that was a rubbish show, but that's the best one they had with like 2 weeks' notice. So Seth Rollins got injured
yeah, I was going to say, especially when you lose your world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they filled it up pretty good for, quick as they had. They didn't have much time.
Now that I go back and watch it, I appreciate the Hearts so much more than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
They were my favorite tag team of all time.
They were the only two guys I know that could pull off Pink.
Yeah.
They were the only two that ever. I mean, who the hell would go to Jim Neidhart and call him like, yeah, you're not wearing a manly colour? Excuse me? Really?
Well, when they started, they were the black and the blue.
Yeah.
And then one day, I guess Brett got somebody to make him some kind of pink thing, and Vince seen it and went, "Wow, that's your color."
That's
From then
it.
on, they were pink, and like you said, it suits them. And
yeah, because before they had, I don't know if it was a blue or a teal or what it was, but that was ugly too.
Always had the daft colours. It was like WrestleMania 2 when they were in that Battle Royal. That's when they had the blue ones.
Yeah.
But this was just brilliant. Start of the new decade and everything, 1990, so...
And I would say this was, and you guys will probably agree, when the tag team division was stacked from top to bottom.
Absolutely. Easily. Look, you had the Brain Busters, you had Demolition, you had Legion of Doom, you had Demolition. It was stacked from top to bottom.
And that's when it was actually tag team wrestling. It wasn't like the crap we got for years.
yeah, just put two guys together, and all of a sudden they're a tag team for no reason.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, now is probably the best it's been in a long time.
I agree with that, yeah. I'd go with that one, yeah.
At least they're trying.
Can I just say to you, is it one of your pets hates is when people do signs at wrestling shows and they misspell. And they're on TV and you go, are you so stupid that you can't spell those certain words? And I'm like, oh my God, really? You're on national TV with a misspelt sign?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It is awful. I mean, poor bugger might have some problems or anything like that, but there's got to be somebody near them that says, yeah, you need to do that again.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, too late. I'm doing it anyways. It's like, oh man,
Brett,
start over.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you this too. I looked this up. I had forgotten, and then I remembered when I saw it. Shane Douglas was the dark match before the pay-per-view went on.
Oh, wait, did it say who he wrestled?
Yeah, Playboy Buddy Rose.
Oh, Playboy Buddy Rose.
This was like when they were getting ready to actually give Shane Douglas a huge push, because if you remember, he was in the Rumble in '91 for like half an hour.
This was the 3-4. This is the 2 from 3-4s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that guy. I mean, in front row, that guy's really into it. He's got the bandana around his head.
Yeah.
Oh, he's into it. He's like, it's real to me, damn it.
I swear sometimes it's better that way, because then, you know, back then you didn't have the internet and have to hear all the negative, stuff where you could just enjoy it.
I think what did me is, at that time, I mean, this is when I was 21, so I think I was in just my first serious relationship ever. And she was just getting to know me, and there were all these Coliseum videos, or Silver Vision as there was over here. And she says, and I just looked at it, and she went, oh, you don't like wrestling, do you? And I went, yeah. She went, oh, it's so fake. And just as she says it, she goes, I'm just going to buy my fake fingernails. I'm like, really? Yeah. Okay. And she's like, yeah, but it's so fake. And I went, coming from someone who's just spent £25 on fake things for themselves, can't say nothing, can you? And she's like, yeah, all right. And I used to go all the time, I think this is just before I was into the WWF over here, because Sky hadn't started showing anything at the time. By this time, we'd not started anything yet. I think it was 91.
Okay.
When it all kicked off for the UK scene with Sky Television.
I was going to say to everyone, because Lance had mentioned this last week, that watched, Smash is a.k.a. Repo Man from 2 years later, and it's like, look at the difference in him in 2 years.
Yeah.
How much thinner he got.
Yeah, well, he's always been he wasn't fat, but he definitely big, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like that when you look at Kane. I mean, you look at Kane in 2004. He was 2002. He was huge, and then he had that staph infection, and he came back, and he weighed about 50, 60 pounds lighter.
Yeah, he looked like a shell of himself.
It was like, is that really the same guy? And then was like, yeah. And then everybody started that rumor about, apparently the original Kane is now Abyss. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Less said about that, the company, the better.
and it's just funny to me now that you go back and watch this and you look at Demolition and you're like, wow, who came up with the idea of them to wear these outfits?
I think somebody watched Mad Max 2, like I said last week. They watched Mad Max 2 and went, yeah, that's a cool outfit. We'll put our own take on it. And by the way, it was just because they needed someone like the Road Warriors. And then they signed, and then they got the Road Warriors and decided to call them the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is with the Mad Max thing, because, they had the hockey masks and everything, just like the movie. So, well, that's what they did back then, WWE. They did a lot of copying from movies and stuff, but hey,
it works.
Gotta go with what works.
And they're the longest reigning, days-wise, tag team still to this day of all time.
Who's that?
Demolition.
Oh, right.
I think it was like almost total 500 days they had the titles.
In total, or at one time?
No, one time.
At one time. I think they almost went 2 years, yeah.
That must have been
Yeah, because they won it at WrestleMania 4, and they lost it right before SummerSlam 89.
Yeah, to the Dreambusters.
Yeah.
The Brainbusters, sorry, not the Dreambusters.
I knew who you meant.
Yeah, I know. Tully Blanchard. How can you call two of the Four Horsemen the Brainbusters?
Well, copyright infringement stuff, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They almost had Flair with them at the time. Flair, I was seeing a thing with Flair, and he was saying that right at that time he was going to come up too.
Yes, but it's in his book.
He just wasn't right time, he said.
Yeah, what happened, it was in his book. Vince offered him the main event of the original SummerSlam, him and Randy Savage, SummerSlam 88, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
Which is wild if you think about it, if it would have happened.
Well, he was comfortable where he was, though, too. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you're making if you're happy, right? Because I'm sure he was making good money in WCW.
Here it comes. This is one of my favorite finishing moves.
The Demolition Elbow. Yes, it is definitely one of the best. And the Hearts one is good, too, but this one is like, oh, my God, he almost killed someone.
Yeah, where he's like, ooh.
Here comes the axe.
And I always enjoyed this match because it was 2 out of 3 falls, which you never really saw that much anymore.
I think this was the first time I ever heard about it in WWE at the time.
Yeah.
That's big over there, wasn't it? Do you know 2 out of 3s was big in the UK?
That's every Saturday. That's what all those matches were. 3 matches, 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a pinfall to decide, or disqualification to decide the winner of a 6 to 3 minute round.
Wow.
So it was 6 rounds, 3 minutes, and if you got a fall in that round, that was it. The end. You went on to the next one.
That's when I first started seeing the British wrestling, like the older stuff, and I'm like, they got rounds like boxing. I've never seen that before. 'Cause of course, I watched this before I watched your stuff.
Yeah,
But it was
You were a
interesting.
little confused.
Yeah, well, I also give the guys a chance to, you know,
when we used to, me and my younger brother, we used to wrestle every week, every night in his house. We used to do it. Well, I mean, this is like I'm 5, 6, 7. We did it all the way up to we was about 13, 14 years old. And we used to say to his mum and dad, can you ring the bell after 3 minutes? And my mum and dad just going, ding, ding. And some rounds would go on for 5 minutes, but as soon as my mum started showing us getting to lose his temper and putting it on and really, really trying to hurt each other, she'd ring the bell and I'm like, that's the quickest 3 minutes ever. And she says, shut up, go to your corners. And that was the entertainment. It was just watching me and my younger brother putting each other in some of the most stupidest positions ever and going, I'm going to make you tap, bitch. I'm going to make you tap. And just literally, we learned how to do the sleeper hold. That was the worst of the lot. 8-year-old kids doing sleeper holds. It was hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you what we used to do in grade school, Dino. We would have, because we had more boys than girls in my grade school class, they would have like a coat room where you would hang your coat and your book bag and all that stuff. But there would be 2 doors. What we would do is if we wanted to like wrestle or whatever, we'd have 2 guys at each door so no one could get in. And you would like wrestle until you fucking got caught or somebody got away from the door. I'll never forget it because one of the kids put me in the sharpshooter and it was like the most god-awful thing ever.
Oh, I think when you look back and you think of the things you were doing at school with wrestling, you're like going, yeah, but it's real. I can do this. And now you see people that's in the 30s do 3 sessions at a wrestling school and go, oh yeah, I can go on a show. Yeah, I can go on a show.
Yeah, we had a kid in. It was around this time, or maybe a little later. Because he was a huge kid. He's like 6'8" now. He tombstoned a kid outside on the grass.
Yeah.
I used to do the DDT on people out in the grass, and the one day, I didn't hurt people or whatever, but the one day I DDT'd this kid, and he was out cold.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh shit! I turned him over, and there's the pop-up sprinkler pipe. I nailed him right on that steel. Out of the whole field, there's maybe 5 of these, and I nailed him dead center on this damn thing. And he was out for about a good 5 minutes. I thought I killed him.
And you look back with so much pride.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was good times.
well, for me it was.
Oh, it was great. He was out for 5 minutes. He was not moving.
Here you go, guys. Vince actually took this finisher.
Here's another one. Me and my buddy Ricardo, we used to do this to people back in the day. He would pick them up and I'd run and nail them. It'd be funny because we'd be out in the smoking area. Back in school, you're allowed to smoke. They had their own smoking area. And we'd pick up one of the kids we didn't like and they'd be like, oh no! Everybody'd be like, oh, they're going to do it again. And I'd nail that kid. Oh, man. It got to the point Ricardo couldn't even go near anybody because they thought he was going to grab him.
That's funny.
But that is another great finishing move. Back when the finishing move was a finish.
Yeah. I was going to say, when I saw this and rewatched it, the ending to this second fall was so weird, where Crush goes and grabs the referee, and he's like, no, I'm not going to let you count 3.
Yeah, I think at that time, I mean, this match was like, and the fact it was so early on the card as well. I mean, you didn't expect any of that. It was just one of them things where you've got to put the crowd roller coaster, as I call it.
Yeah.
Getting high and then taking
comes Axe. Under the ring he goes.
Yep.
So, Mike, you said you went with your dad. Did he like wrestling, or did he just take it because you liked it?
He just took me because I liked it.
Okay, well, that's nice. Do you remember, I guess you probably had no clue what the tickets were or anything
God, yeah, I remember there was an ad in our local paper for the pay-per-view, and this is the funny story. My parents didn't have a credit card at that time. They didn't like believe in credit cards, so they literally gave the money for the tickets to my aunt, and my aunt used her credit card to buy the tickets.
Right on. And it worked.
Yeah, I just always remember that. I thought it was funny. But this was it was crazy because this is the old Philly Spectrum that is no longer there.
Has it gone? Is it one of the famous demolitions now? Is that really gone now?
Yeah.
Oh, Rocky will be so impressed. That's where he won his world title.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Spectrum.
Yeah, they tore it down. They're gonna build like a bunch of like diners and like places to buy clothes and all kind of different shops, like for when you go to this other sporting events.
There's this weird move.
That is weird.
And it's like, I think they only used it once, and that was it.
I think when I look back and I look at sports stadiums and you look at the sports arenas, I understand we have to move on and some of the places just not that viable anymore. But when you look back at things like this and you're going, these were the monumental arenas, the Philadelphia Spectrum.
Yeah.
I think there's only like Madison Square Garden still left now, isn't there?
Here's Axe.
Yeah, no, that don't look anything.
That's Smash.
They got face paint. You can't tell the difference.
Gee, we can't tell the difference between them, can we?
The Axe, all he did was do that clubbing smash, that punch. Yeah. That was his only move.
Smash has got no face paint. Crush has hardly got anything in him. Crush is about 6 inches taller than Axe anyway. And here comes Axe going, you can't tell the difference?
And his face paint isn't worn off.
He's got a bigger bold patch and everything, but oh no.
Well, I always thought, and I don't know if he was in the UK, but he was more widely known as the Masked Superstar.
I think when he used to come over here on tours and things like that, he might have done that, but I can't remember him being over here in the UK as that.
Because that was like his big thing before he became Axe.
Yeah. Oh, can I just say, I've just found out today that we have got a UK wrestler called the UK Deadpool.
Oh, God.
Seriously. We've got the UK Undertaker. There used to be a tours in the 90s, and they're still happening now, and I think it's the same guys. The UK Undertaker, the UK Typhoon, UK Earthquake. Everything's the UK with just ripping off American wrestlers. And
the thing about your wrestling over there, Dino, you guys got some of the most amazing guys over there, but you have some of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen in my life.
There's Smash Axe beating him up.
Yeah. Tell me about it. We've got some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I'm thank God for the resurgence that we've had of British wrestling over the last 5-6 years. Because before that, you were lucky to draw flies.
Here comes the Road Warriors. This place went nuts, guys, when they came out.
So this would have been the first time you ever even seen them, Mike. You didn't even know about them or heard about them?
Nothing. I think I'd seen them briefly on, like, Wrestling Challenge or Superstars, and they had, like, hyped them up, but other than that, I had never seen them.
Well, we were talking earlier about how they split up Warlord and Barbarian. That's probably another reason, because these guys are showing up. Can't have 3 teams with paint.
Yeah. And then the Hearts win on the Schoolboy. I always liked that finish because it still made Demolition not look weak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think looking back at this, it's like, fast forward yourselves to next year, you can put one tag team in the Hall of Fame, and it comes between Demolition and Art Foundation. Who would you put it?
If they're putting the Heart Foundation in with everybody, I'd say them.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends if they're going to put
Owen, Pillman.
Pillman and Bulldog and Owen all with them, then yeah, that's fine.
I think that's
definitely
the way the WWE should go. I think they should put that one, and then you've got Brian in and Owen, and all the arguments then will stop with one group.
Yeah, and cover all the bases.
and then you've got Brett in twice. Just a bit to feed. Oh my God! What was that woman wearing the denim jacket and the fingerless gloves? What the heck was you? Oh, look at her in the crowd. Just look how good. Axe and Demolition were walking away, and the woman has got the biggest hair I have ever seen in my life. She's got the glasses, big hair, and her hair's about 2 foot taller. So if anybody's coming down the ring, you can't miss her. It's Johnny Bravo's quiff on a woman.
Yeah, and I was going to say, what's crazy is this was when they were still promoting WrestleMania to be in the old Raiders Coliseum.
Yeah, well, that only got switched a few months before, didn't it?
Yeah, because of
the Gulf War.
Yes.
That's the Slaughter thing?
Someone threatened to kill Slaughter and his family, Vince and his family, and I forget what else, and like they couldn't guarantee their safety at the Coliseum, so they had to change it.
Wrestling's definitely real for that person,
yeah.
Isn't it? Jeez.
Can you imagine what it'd have been like, though, at LA Coliseum, if it had happened, WrestleMania 7?
They probably would have broke the record they did this year.
Yeah.
Everybody hit pause or whatever on the video, and I'll let you know what's up when we go to the next one.
Sure.
We'll keep chatting a bit, and then we'll...
Because I don't know if you guys remember Bill Yeedy, who is Axe. His last pay-per-view was Survivor Series.
Oh, was that one, sorry?
Yeah, it was Survivor Series 1990. After that, he left.
Right.
Axe.
Axe. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
he was like you said, he was in bad health, I guess. I guess after that shellfish toxic shock syndrome, he just was weak for like 2 years.
Vince did him dirty. He did the same thing that he did to Jake. He told him he was going to give him a position backstage and then changed his mind.
Oh, gee, what a surprise, eh?
I think also that's when Smash said he wanted to go by himself, too.
Yes.
And do his Repo Man thing. So then Smash was also... Axe was a little choked about that, too.
Because I don't know if you know this. They hadn't spoken after Survivor Series for like 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they got into quite a feud. Well, Axe did.
It's when you think about all the people that did it then, and like these old guys did it right. I mean, I'm speaking as someone who used to watch it on videos and things, and I mean, we had our moment with Wembley, but when you look back at all these pay-per-view events, there's only 4 a year. Mm-hmm. We always look forward to January. It was March, April. It was July. It was August, and then it was November for the Survivor Series. That was it. There was none every month for everything. So the storyline, like we said last week, the storylines you could tell now and then were just amazing because you had 3-4 months of it. But now, I mean, you get people tired of it after 3-4 minutes if you've got the Miz on the telly. So.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, then they had the Saturday night main events in between to kind of bridge them into the pay-per-views, you know?
Yeah, I love the fact that it made you like something to look forward to, and I mean, I was like pestering my mum for Sky Television at this point. I was going crazy because Sky was the big thing, and then when the wrestling was on, it helped sell it to my mum because then all of a sudden she became a fan again, and it just blows all away, the fact that all these people, we were used to seeing about 300, 400 people in a bingo hall in Britain. And then you see, I'm not kidding, I'm really not. You used to see some of the venues on YouTube. And then you look at these and you're getting 30, 20,000, 30,000 things. And you're going, wow, this is great. And it's promoted right. It's none of this. There's one person saying, this is what we're going to do. This is the way we're going to go with it. And he had that vision to go with it. And everybody's looking at WrestleMania 7 and now we're at WrestleMania 32, 25 years later.
That's wild.
It is. It's absolutely crazy, the fact that something that we're looking at here, and it's 25 years old plus, and we're looking and thinking, and it's still watching it 20 odd years later. It's crazy.
I still think it's crazy, Dino, that you guys didn't get WWE regularly till 91.
No, we didn't. We didn't because ITV the main channels in Britain at the time, we had BBC and ITV. A gentleman called Greg Dyke decided to kill British wrestling on TV in 1988. He said, "I've had enough. It's too old-fashioned. We don't need it on TV. We're cutting it." So he cancelled it after 30-odd years on the TV.
Wow.
Cancelled it. They then had a meeting in 1990 with an unknown promoter that said, "I will provide you with top-class entertainment, and you will love everything about it. It's completely different to what you've seen, and you're doing it." He had a meeting with Vince McMahon. Greg Dyke then turned that down and said, "No, we don't want wrestling. It's too much like the 70s. We want the 1990s. We're going to go with other things and not include sport." Vince then went to Sky Television and they said, "Yeah, we'll have it." And then they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a British wrestler, David Boy Smith. Yeah, we'll use him to promote it." And it went from there. Just the fact that we had one guy with his Union Jack on, Union flag, and they went away with it, and it worked. It was the hottest thing to watch ever, that all of a sudden we could watch American wrestling.
That's cool.
But that's the story of what happened. Greg Dyke, who's now in charge of the English Football Association, the England football team, he's now in charge of that, and he's responsible for killing British wrestling in the 80s, in my eyes.
So you guys just had it on videotapes and stuff like that, if you had to watch it, or you didn't even know about it.
Like tape traders.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have any video libraries because nobody knew what it was. I think the only time we saw WWF, it was on a Saturday, and they had all of a sudden they said, "We're not showing British wrestling this week. We're showing the World Wrestling Federation." Nobody had a clue what anything was, and I can still remember the 3 matches they showed. They started off with the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs. I think it was just after WrestleMania 2, because the Bulldogs were the champions. So they had them. You had Honky Tonk Man versus Ken Patera. And then you had Hulk Hogan versus Cowboy Bob Orton. Those were the 3 matches we had. The first thing, and as soon as that finished, everybody said, "No, we don't want to watch British anymore. We want to watch these guys." And that's what killed British wrestling. There was 1 hour showing of WWF in 1986, and it killed the British wrestling scene for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
Well, that's part of 10 years. Because everybody went, "I don't want to watch Brits. I want to watch Hulk Hogan and all these guys over here." And
I can't really blame them, though, can you? That's some pretty...
Yeah.
The same thing happened here.
At that time, British wrestling was, I'm speaking just as me, so if anybody from British wrestling is going to have a go at me, please do. At that time on a Saturday, it was just like, it was like these city halls. They held about 300-400 people. You had kids that were just running around going to beat each other up in the crowd. You had grannies that would come up and stick out cigarettes on the wrestlers' backsides, hit them with the handbags, everything. And I think at that time we did what happened to Hulk Hogan in the 90s. Big Daddy was a big star over here, but he never lost. You never saw Big Daddy lose. No matter who he was against, you never saw him lose. And I think there was at the time that we all just grew up and stopped seeing the Big Daddy as a star and going, "Can somebody please beat Big Daddy at wrestling?" And that happened to us, and it's a shame because Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks was the biggest 2 things. Giant Haystacks became Loch Ness in WCW.
Okay.
But he got his big break, and Giant Haystacks was huge. And he was going to fight Hulk Hogan and everything, but then he got leukemia and he sadly passed away. But he is on a pay-per-view where you see him take on the Young Giant. So if you look for the WCW pay-per-view on the network, and I've seen it, Loch Ness is our Giant Haystacks. He was massive, that guy. Huge. He was the ultimate bad guy. Nobody liked him, ever.
Kind of reminded me of like the one-man gang.
Yeah.
Yes.
The big, huge guy with the beard. And...
Yeah, but British wrestling then, it would just... I'd just say, thank God somebody had the brains to put it on, and then all of a sudden it's like the British lads had to look at themselves and go, well, hold on a minute, well, what's wrong with us? But nobody was going to see them. they went and everything. But now, I mean, Lance will speak for this. Now we've got a product which is one of the best in the world.
Absolutely.
It's the guys that we've got that you guys are seeing now. I mean, we've got the cruiserweight competition. There's Zack Sabre Jr. There's Noam Dar. Will Ospreay's in New Japan. You've got Rockstar Spud and Mark Andrews in TNA. There's all these things that's coming over now, and we've got Drew Galloway, a Scottish lad. Drew McIntyre, he's a TNA World Champion. We had Magnus as TNA World Champion. So, and Wade Barrett and all them guys. So, we're doing all right at the moment. We'll get it eventually. But to be honest, Joe, we don't need the Americans at this moment. We're holding a zone on his own anyway.
Absolutely. All right, Lance, where's our next bubble at?
Okay, the next bubble. It should say Jim Duggan gets the pinfall after a clothesline. And then after that, we're just going to run the rest of the show. So.
Yeah, this match was so bad. I must say.
I got to hit set. Ready? Everybody?
Ready.
Hit play. So we're all in time. Oh, there's the old Orient Express.
Yeah, his mine's paused. It won't bloody work. Bloody thing.
Oh, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just doing stance now. He's just done the stance and he's running in now.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Orient Express, they were the... Who were they? They were the Dallas Page's team in WCW.
Yes.
Was this Duggan's pay-per-view debut for WWF?
No.
No, he was in WrestleMania 3.
Ah, right. What, Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
I just listened to his a shoot interview from him last night. That was his first thing was WrestleMania 3, and then he got caught with the Iron Sheik, and then he was gone for a long time.
Yeah, they got busted for drugs on the Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah. I've got a funny story about Duggan, quick. He was over in Britain last year at a show run by Southside Wrestling, and I was with Nixie, and both of us sat there, and we just sat down and everything, and Nixie went, I've got to go to the toilet. She went to the toilet. As she goes to the toilet, Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out of the back, walks straight across and goes, hey, tough guy, how you doing? And shakes my hand, and I'm going, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, jeez, here we go. Walks on. Nixie comes back and she says, why are you looking so sappy with yourself? I went, Hacksaw Jim Duggan just shook my hand. She went, I always miss it.
She's got the worst timing, doesn't she?
She always misses him, always.
This is hilarious, this interview with Sean Mooney standing on this rickety ladder trying to talk to the Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah. Well, have you got that interview? Because I'm still on Dusty Rhodes with Sapphire.
Yeah, I got Dusty Rhodes at the door right now.
Oops.
I think
I
think that was me and Dino had a little glitch there.
Yeah, I think
I pushed it back.
Yeah, I've just got Macho, $1 Million Man now talking, says Dustin converting Sapphire. Is this when Sapphire joined the $1 Million Man?
Yes.
Yeah, earlier in the night, it was Sherry versus Sapphire, and that's when Sapphire didn't show up, and Sherry won.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know the best bit? My mum, when she first saw Dusty Rhodes, said, and I quote, and my mum was a big woman, she went, he's got bigger tits than me. I'm like, cheers, Mum. Thank you. She went, how is he a professional wrestler? Look at the size of him. And I'm like, well, he is. And she's like, he's the most out of shape guy in the world. But I didn't know who Dusty Rhodes was then. So I'm like that. Now, if my mum was here, I'd be going, you what, Mum? One of the greatest wrestlers from America, and you just cut him out of shape.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely.
Okay, what do you guys got on the screen right at the moment?
Sapphire walking to the ring.
Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Sapphire's with the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet.
I'm at 139. 20, 139, 30, 139, 31, 32.
Right, hang on 1 second.
Oh, I'm at 142, 38. I'll stop.
You're way ahead, Dino.
I'll
I
start.
have,
Or they're
I have
behind.
Savage coming out right now.
Yeah, I got Savage coming out right now.
Oh, well,
139. It's almost one. It's almost at 140, 150, 153, 54, 55,
what?
139. It's almost 140 right now.
Give me a sec here.
Sherry's coming out in front of Macho Man on his being let out by his little chair there coming out the ring. Well, that's what I got. I don't know what you got, Mike.
I've got it now. I've got Macho coming to the ring now. He must have skipped forward the bloody thing.
Yeah,
Blame the technology. Blame the technology. There you go.
Look at there's the jobbers carrying the guys out. They didn't even look at all of their goofy ring gear too.
Talking of that, I watched In Your House 4 the other day, and I was watching it, and they had to, and these four guys had to carry King Mabel, the size of him, and they were carrying him on one of them, and you can see the four guys underneath straining, going, "For fuck's sake, hurry up and get off, will you?" That was going to be the craziest job ever. These guys were huge, and they were carrying King Mabel like that to the ring.
He needed 8 guys for him.
There was only 4. There was only 4 guys. It was stupid.
I actually saw him live back in '96. That guy is huge. Like, the TV did him no justice.
Yeah,
so I got Ted DiBiase talking right now.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. I'm there.
Perfect. Yeah, because earlier in the night they had Sherry versus Sapphire, and
Sapphire never showed up.
Sapphire, and they just played her music, and nothing happened. So,
was there a better heel than DiBiase?
No.
He's sure up there, isn't he? Roddy was pretty damn good, Piper. But
Piper became a good guy. They never turned DiBiase. They never turned him, did they? They kept him as a heel the whole time.
Yeah.
That is, and I think the only time I saw DiBiase as a good guy was when he was the manager of the Steiner brothers.
I was just going to say that.
That's the only time I ever saw him.
Oh, wow.
That's the only time I ever saw him as a bad guy.
It was when he left the NWO, Lance.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's WCW stuff. Yeah. There's so much shit that's gone on through the years. It's hard to remember everything. You guys sometimes got your, like, holy crap, I don't remember that.
I have to... Now, correct me if I'm wrong about this. I don't ever remember seeing Sapphire after this pay-per-view.
I think this was it.
Yeah, this was the last appearance, weren't it? That's contract money in that bag.
Yeah, see you later. There's your go away.
Yeah.
It's probably full of ones. There's 200s on the top, and the rest are full of ones.
Yeah.
Or it might have changed. Have you seen it about the money that Shane O'Mac, when Shane O'Mac came out of WrestleMania this year?
Yes.
Some friends of mine got the money that came from the ring, and they said, look, we got him. And he says, I'm keeping mine forever. And I said, why are you doing that? And he says, well, they're selling on eBay for like £2,000-3,000 each.
Holy crap.
And I went, and you're keeping it? And he went, well, yeah. I said, you could fund your next WrestleMania with that.
Is that Ollie?
And as soon as I said that, he went, oh shit, Dad, that's okay, I'm selling it.
Yeah.
Do you know, is that Ollie? Ollie Harper? Ollie Harper?
No,
is that what you're talking about?
No, Lee. Okay. Lee James.
Okay, because I seen that Ollie got some too. I think he went.
I was going to say, fellas, was there ever one of the best heels, I have to say, was when Randy Savage was a heel.
Yeah. I think when Randy Savage turned on Hogan, it gave his career a completely different lease of life, and he pulled off the Macho King, and I think when he was just blessed with sensational Sherry as well, because she was more scarier than he was. So
I always liked her better anyway.
Yeah, Sherry was amazing. She was absolutely amazing for Macho, and they just work well together.
I'm Macho Man. He's my favorite of all time. He definitely heel. He was one of the best heels. Smashing people with the ring bell and pulling stuff out of his trunks and grabbing bricks.
Yeah, he did whatever it took. And the other thing I was going to tell you guys, this was the setup for Dusty Rhodes' last feud in the WWF with Ted DiBiase, because he left like 5 months later.
Is that what happened? Went back to WCW?
Yeah, after the Royal Rumble 91, when they had the tag match with him and Dustin against DiBiase and Virgil.
Oh yeah, the famous when Virgil decided that he had enough.
Yeah.
Jesus. The only guy in the world that could pull off polka dots, eh?
Yeah.
Oh man, a drop kick from Dusty.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Who'd ever thought you'd see that?
And the funny thing about it is the way Dusty is now, he's actually slimmer than he used to be. And that's all.
Yeah.
When he was at WCW back in the 70s, holy moly.
Do you know what's great? Is you're looking at this, and even the referee, all four, have passed on to the other side now.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
That is really, really sad to me, that. The fact that you just got, Sensational Sherry selling it the best she can. Look at that.
Bam, hit with the purse.
Yeah. Now that's a heel move.
Do you know, when he did that to the Warrior at the Rumble and it smashed, I don't care what anyone said, that must have hurt the Warrior. I'd love to have seen the conversation after that match with that. The fucking hell was you doing, man? Well, I had
sorry, brother.
Sorry, brother. I had to make it look real. Yeah, look at me head. Look at me head.
Thought your hair would stop it.
Superb.
I was just laying it in, making it look real.
Quick match, got what needed to be done in there.
Yeah, and it helped set up Dusty's feud with the $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about this, guys, is when The Undertaker debuted after this pay-per-view.
Oh, God, yeah. 1990, yeah.
The Undertaker. Yeah. When he debuted, my girlfriend, she was scared.
The only time a ginger man looked hard. Undertaker's the only guy that made ginger hair look hard.
I'll never forget that, because remember, they teased it for months. The mystery partner.
Yeah. And they delivered. It wasn't like a TNA mystery partner. It was like the guy that changed the industry.
Yeah.
But at the time, they didn't know it. But,
at least he didn't come out of the egg like the original plan.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, they were going to make him Eggman.
Yeah. Kid out. 1 minute, Dusty Rhodes just spark out, being it respects. The next minute can run back faster than the ref.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out cold and now I'm sprinting to a car.
Yeah, no, look, there we go. Look. And I can hit him. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. Staffa! Staffa!
Yeah, I always remember that. That was hilarious. Then he's like, damn!
Damn! I'm gonna thug them out, motherfucker! Where's the booker? I'm the booker!
Oh, man, that was
You would think never should have worked. A big fat man that had a lisp, and he became one of the biggest guys of all time, eh?
And even more so that he wore polka dots.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the big earthquake. So was it shaking in there, Mike?
No, it wasn't shaking.
No earthquakes? I like this outfit on him.
He's got his buddy Dino Bravo from Up Your Way, Lance.
No,
he's on the other side. Here's another two guys, Dad, eh? Jeez.
And he was another guy that should have been a lot better, a lot been more respected for what he did in the business than he was. Dino Bravo was amazing.
From what I always read, Dino Bravo was murdered.
Yeah, he was.
Boss man,
in
another
like
dead guy.
Something with the drug trade.
Yeah, well, he's from Quebec, the other side of the country. And back then, there was they had bigger mafias over there than New York did at the time.
Oh, wow.
They had big biker wars there. I mean, they were bombings and murders every other day. It was horrible. And yeah, he got in, well, the rumor is he got into the drug trade and he was in his chair and somebody come in, and obviously they said it was somebody he knew because he always locked his door, and he let the guy in, and he was sitting in his chair. So
yeah. I'll tell you guys a funny story about this, where they talk about Hogan here, where he's talking about when the earthquake squashed him. I don't know if you guys remember this. They had a P.O. box address. You could send postcards and get well letters to Hogan while he was out.
Oh, dear.
What? Did you send one, Mike?
Yes, I did.
Oh, God. Get well, Hulk. Did you ever get a reply?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I had it was an autographed photo of Hogan lifting weights.
Well, there you go. That was definitely worth it.
And it was like a postcard. And it was, you could tell it was like his autograph stamped on it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but it was like, thank you for sending, your letter and your thoughts and well wishes I forget how he worded it, but it was like that gave me the inspiration to get back into the ring. Thank you.
Well, so it was your letter, Mike, that got him back.
It's your fault.
Way to
It's
go.
you that's responsible for getting Hulk Hogan back in the ring.
You still got that photo, Mike?
No.
Yeah, it's hard to keep stuff from kids when you're kids, isn't it? Unless you put it away.
How thin does the boss man look on this thing?
Yeah, he was really thin.
How much weight did he lose after he'd been in the Twin Towers? I mean, look at him there.
He had to lose at least 100 pounds.
Had to. Unbelievable.
Well, when you think about it, when he wrestled Hogan in the cage, how heavy he was.
Yeah, well, it just astounds me. I mean, I think the last person I know in the wrestling thing over here that's done that is Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
Because he was huge in TNA, and then he came back as that heel, and he looked like he lost about 70, 80, 100 pounds, and he just felt so much better for it.
You know what's funny? Jimmy Hart looks the same today as he did 25 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
You hear that story? You see Earthquake's tattoo there?
Yes.
Well, I guess when he got moved to WCW, they called him the Shark, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he went and got his whole tattoo redone as a shark.
I remember this.
And then a few days later, they said, "No, you're not the Shark anymore."
Just like Kevin Nash.
He got it changed because he thought it was going to be like a long-term gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Nash with the Mohawk with that Master Blaster.
Oh,
They said,
God.
You got to cut your hair. What? You got to cut your hair into a Mohawk. So he cut his hair into a Mohawk. And they went, yeah, after that first match, yeah, I don't think we're going to go with Master Blaster. Cut all his hair off and everything.
Guys, it can't be as bad as when he was Oz.
Well, that was just after Master Blaster. He got his hair grew back. And then he became Oz. And then he left and became Vinny Vegas.
I actually, out of all of those, I like the Vinny Vegas character the best.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, and then Shawn Michaels saw it, and the rest is like they say, he's written in stone. He saw Vinny Vegas and went, hey, he could be doing my bodyguard.
So how loud was it in there, Mike, when Hogan came out?
It was crazy loud. It was louder than when the Warrior came out.
Look how far they're reaching out to get him and going, no, I touched him.
Yeah. I think we all did that at some point in time.
I did it last week. I did it on the May the 2nd at an Anastasia concert. Yeah.
And I was going to say, Lance, there's the... I haven't seen him right this minute, but there's the guy that's always in the front row of every one of these pay-per-views.
With the vest on. Hulkamania vest. Got glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you're on about. Always, yeah, I saw him. Every pay-per-view used to see him. Do you remember that kid that had the basin haircut? He was a big, chubby kid.
Yes.
And that was another one that you used to see at every pay-per-view as well.
He the rumor, he said he wouldn't say exactly why, but the guy that always had, and I'm sure you know who we're talking about, Lance, the guy that always had front row seats, he said he had an in WWE, but he wouldn't say who it was.
Oh.
Yeah, I got no clue who you guys are talking about back then.
Once you see him, you'll know.
Yeah.
He was there every pay-per-view. All the cameras always used to go on him.
The reason the one I specifically remember is when Sid beat Shawn Michaels at the Garden in Survivor Series 97, I think it was. Or 96, one of them.
96, yeah.
And he, when Sid came past him, he like bear hugs him, and Sid's like giving him a high five and all this stuff. And I was like, oh crap, that's that guy with the glasses. I remember him.
Yeah, that's cool. But, no, I think, end of the day, you always get them characters at things, and it's like the ECW guys. You always have the hat guy, you always have the sign guy, things like that, and they just, at this point, they just went to another level.
I met the hat guy years ago.
Man, Earthquake, man, he must be, what, 500 pound, 450?
Yeah. Do you remember what his original name was, and then they changed it?
Oh, go on. I remember it.
I remember because they called him at WrestleMania 6. They called him the Canadian Earthquake.
Oh. Well, they have earthquakes in Canada?
Oh, yeah. I got earthquakes here all the time.
I just never understood. I was like, why the Canadian Earthquake?
Well, he's from Surrey, BC, Vancouver,
okay.
Right? Yeah, he was in that. Remember I told you that wrestling we had here where they bring in guy called him King Kong Bundy Jr. or whatever. He was their champion, all-star wrestler. He was Big John Tenta. He's actually was a sumo wrestler. He was the first white guy ever to win the sumo wrestling in Japan. And he used to come out and basically he did Yokozuna's gimmick. He was a sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
Well, Yokozuna did his gimmick because he was before Yokozuna.
Yeah, and then remember they did the little sumo showdown in like '94.
Earthquake did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
after WrestleMania 10.
Yeah. I think the worst thing I ever saw about sumo is you saw Big Show in one of their outfits.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. See the big diapers. Show in the sumo. Nah. Do you remember when we used to get them gimmick matches at WrestleMania? We don't get them now, do we?
This is when I look at the Hulkster here, this is when you could clearly tell he's on the juice.
Oh yeah.
Because if you see him here and then you watch him at like WrestleMania 9 and 93, he looks like 50 pounds lighter.
Yeah, he did. When he had that break from wrestling, he lost a lot of upper body muscle mass.
Yeah. And then he had, remember, guys, he had the big black eye.
Oh, when Money Inc. beat him up at WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Oh, going for the slam already.
That was Hogan. That was Hogan's thing. Oh, let me try the slam like 6 times.
Yeah, my first move of the match. Let me try a body slam. There we go.
Always the same, isn't it? I mean,
that was the Hogan match.
Yeah, that's why I never liked Hogan. And plus, he always won. And he was a good guy. I guess like
it's because like I was so young, and that kind of like how the kids are now with John Cena. You know,
it
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. If you look at John Cena now, we all mock John Cena and everything, but he's only doing what was done 25 years ago with Hogan.
Yeah.
It's just they found another guy that was willing to do what they wanted and everything, and to say it's happened twice in our lifetime is phenomenal. But where's the next Hogan or where's the next John Cena coming from?
And it's not John Cena's fault that Vince McMahon has picked him to be his, he could trust him. He knows he's loyal, and what else he wanted?
That always makes me laugh when Hogan winds up with the fist and then Earthquake slowly falls on his ass.
Yeah. Look how quick he got out of that ring.
Yeah, for a big guy, that's impressive.
Yeah. Who's the best big guy that's ever been in wrestling then? You've got to put the Big Show up there.
Yeah.
For his moves and thing. I'd put Earthquake in time.
Here we go.
Boss Man too, and would you consider Undertaker a big guy? Because he's definitely a big dude, but he's not really a big fat guy, is he?
I always thought this was funny. Out of nowhere, they let them it's like it's broken into a tag match.
Yeah, this is no disqualification here.
it just made me laugh because I was like, well, I don't remember them saying those two were in this as well.
Referees got leeway, I guess.
Yeah. But when you watch these matches, I have to agree with you guys. It reminds you so much of Cena.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, you can't blame John Cena. I mean, he never refuses an autograph from a kid. Never. He always makes time for him. He always stays longer than he should do with kid. Because they say, come on, John, we've got to go. And he goes, no, 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. He says, this kid I need to stay with his kid. And I love him to bits. I mean, I'm not saying he's over. I mean, I'm not one of these that says, I hate John Cena to bits, but I respect for what he does.
Yeah, here you go, guys. Earthquake's going to break the ring.
Oh, man. It's funny when the big guy goes to the top rope. Has this ever worked? Oh, you get him, though. He got him, so it did work.
When I watched him drop that elbow, I cringed. I'm like, how do you not get squashed doing that?
You must land on your knees. I mean, when I watch it and everything, they take the weight on your knees, don't you? So, I mean, go on, Earthquake.
Stomp on his foot.
And then this was funny to see. Earthquake putting him in a Boston Crab.
Look, and he's tapping. He's tapping, look.
Yeah, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
He's tapping. I'm sorry, but that's end of a match, isn't it?
Yeah, now it
is. Back then it wasn't, but now it would be.
Well, you got to hit the mat back end to show you how much it hurt.
I saw... Guys, if you want to see the worst ever match in WWF history, watch In Your House 4 for Yokozuna versus King Mabel.
Ugh.
I'm not kidding. King Mabel throws an elbow and he hits Yokozuna, and then 10 seconds later Yokozuna flies out of the ring.
I was going to say the worst one I ever saw was Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez at SummerSlam.
Well, WrestleMania.
Either or.
The one I got is King Kong Bundy versus Uncle Elmer on Saturday night's main event.
Oh, God. That one was bad, too.
Uncle Elmer screwed up twice, and Bundy just said screw it and gave him a Bundy splash and nailed him. And they had to carry that big old Uncle Elmer out of the ring somehow because Bundy got mad.
I'll have to look out for that one.
Yeah, look
at Earthquake.
It's a Saturday night main event.
Elbow.
I mean, they said about it now, but I was talking to some wrestlers about this, and everybody's agreement: Eve Marie should not be nowhere near a wrestling ring.
Yeah, well, she had that one match at WrestleMania, and then it's been nothing. There's a body slam again.
I think we look at nowadays and things, and I mean, every time we didn't see the mistakes as much. We didn't realise they were doing a mistake in the ring. Now it's something that we look for, and I think it's a lot of the innocence. It's like I keep saying to Nixie on mine, and I keep saying, there's a lot of the innocence that we had has been lost because we've been so saturated with wrestling on TV and everything like that, and now you can access it whenever you want and any time of day you want. And I think
back then when somebody would screw up, you'd hear JR or whoever the announcer say, "Oh, he blocked it," or "He didn't get that all," he didn't get that whole move in. Now. They just don't say anything.
But it's like when we could see it, but we go, when we used to see a punch thrown and it never connected nowhere near it, we didn't realise what we was watching, and then all of a sudden years later,
and look at this Hogan ripping the ref's shirt.
Yeah,
that should be disqualification. Jeez.
Yeah, that's mishandling the ref, isn't it? Dear me.
Earthquake must have been tired. They needed a rest hold.
Yeah. Excuse me, somebody mopped my brow and ripped my shirt. Look at that. Dear. Oh, God, look at Earthquake there. Dear me, spin and ruin the world.
He's hurt. Oh, he's almost down.
Oh, he caught him.
Oh,
This is where I cringe, fellas. Oh.
oof.
I know,
Oh,
I
that's
was
a good
always
power
like,
slap.
how do you not do that without getting, killed? Especially at this age, when I was that young, you're like, oh my god, he's dead.
Yeah, can't really fake that, can you? As they say.
Here we go.
Oh, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
the old earthquake splash. Or avalanche, or
What's
whatever
the-
they called it.
This used to be one of my favourite finishing moves
Yeah.
ever.
Do you guys remember when he was briefly called Avalanche in WCW?
Yes.
And they had to change it because WWE sued him over it?
Yeah.
I
When
remember
did
that.
WWF not sue WCW?
Yeah. And then Earthquake almost runs over the ref.
I wonder what the fake Razor. Well, I wonder what the fake Razor Ramon is doing these days.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Rich Bogner.
I didn't know his real name.
Yeah, he was a Canadian guy, so that's the only reason I know his name. Well, I know the fake Diesel did pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good one. What did you think when you saw fake Diesel and Razor come out? Were you convinced? I mean, Jim Ross said, "I've brought Diesel and Razor back," and then out come two people you never even saw before.
I had believed it, hook, line, and sinker, and then I saw them, and I was like, who in the hell are these guys?
I was
Yes.
definitely there at the television. I gotta see it. And then I'm like, what the? Jim Ross, have you lost your goddamn mind? You think this is gonna work? I thought it was a joke, but they were serious.
Here you go, Hogan with the boot.
Oh,
I think you missed an opportunity because when you had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash come back in 2002, you could have had the fake Diesel and fake Razor versus Nash and Hall.
Yeah. There you go. What did it take him, Lance? What, 4 times trying to body slam him?
he got him.
Jimmy
Turn
Hart
around.
hits him in the back.
Now that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the manager does double damage in WWE logic.
I
You
gotta
know,
give Jimmy credit for letting Hogan press slam him.
Do you know what killed Jimmy Hart? Is when he went good guy with Brutus.
Hogan.
Yeah, when Brutus got his face smashed in by the
Yeah.
king. Remember that? That was one of the best bits ever. They had all
What the hell's
that.
that table doing there?
Ooh.
Yeah, where did that table come from?
That was when, well, they must have set it up then. Never mind. Ooh.
Oh, look. And he couldn't.
The table's there.
How thick is that table?
Yeah, I was going to say, the only reason I could remember that they had the table out there was, and you're going to laugh when I say this,
And
when
that's
they had
another
the
fast count.
Jake the Snake versus Bad News Brown, and Bad News Brown had his sewer rats with him.
Oh,
Yeah, because I watched that too. Because I was like, because I liked Bad News Brown. I liked him, and
Watch
of course,
these hits that the Boss
Yeah.
Man swings.
oh, look at that.
Tell me that's fake.
Yeah, and that. Yeah, because they show his back afterwards, don't they?
Yeah,
that's
look
not
at
a
his
chair.
back.
That's a step stool. That's not a chair. Those things are made to stand on,
Look at
not
his
sit
back.
on.
Like, the fuck did you hit me for? He's like, what did you hit me with? That wasn't planned.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, maybe he was supposed to grab a chair, not a
Look
step
at his
stool.
back.
Yeah, look at that. Dear me.
That just looks
Oh.
fake.
Yeah, then Jimmy's poking at it.
He's like, look what he did, look what he did. And he's like, you're hurting me, Jimmy.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't even know about it at the moment
Yeah,
until he gets in the shower.
You know when you've just said, "Oh, Jimmy Hart's poking that guy's holes in his back with the blood." There's a funny thing happened in motor racing, completely off subject. You know, there was a gentleman called Nigel Mansell. He just won a race, and his favourite interviewer, Murray Walker, was saying to him, "I've just got to look at this, Nigel. You have got the biggest bump I have ever seen on your head." and he just pointed at it, and then he touched it, and you see Nigel Mansell go, and he went, I'm ever sorry I touched your bump. It was the biggest bump I've ever seen. If you see it on YouTube, Murray Walker, Nigel Mansell head bump. It was the biggest lump I've ever seen on someone's head. Crazy. Completely off subject, but there we go.
Yeah, it's funny though.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
It's like you go out partying, and the next day somebody's like, "Hey, what'd you do to your leg?" I go, "I don't know." Well, you got a big cut there. Does it hurt? Well, now it does. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah. So, was that? I mean, how many times have you done that? You woke up next morning and go, "What have you done to your face?" What? Where? On your face? Oh, I don't know. I can't see it. Well, have a look in the mirror, and then you go, "When did that happen?"
Yeah. Hogan doing a chicken dance.
Yeah, that's frightening.
Anytime.
So I guess it was probably pretty damn loud in there now, ain't too much, Mike?
Yeah,
There.
it was. They were going crazy. You know, Hogan had to do his 10-minute pose down.
Oh dear.
At least it wasn't main event.
Like he was practicing for the WBF in '92.
Oh dear, the World Bodybuilding Federation. Hey guys, have you heard that ESPN are doing a documentary on the XFL?
Yeah.
You just beat me to it, Dino. Yeah.
They're doing a 30 for 30.
That's going to be good.
I remember watching that when it first came out. It was funny because they went from 50,000 people to 10,000 people to 500 people in 3 weeks. It was crazy.
I know. Well, and then what's funny, the cheerleaders they had, I always laughed because they looked like strippers.
They were.
Like from the movie Basketball, if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
Oh dear. What do you think? I mean, I know we're talking about it now. The XFL. My feeling is Joey Styles said it best. He says, the first night, if you didn't have The Rock or anything to do with wrestling and make the XFL stand on its own 2 feet, XFL would have still been in business now.
I agree.
But where it failed is when the first thing you see in an XFL is The Rock saying, "Do you smell what The Rock is cooking at an XFL gig?" It was bound to fail from that moment on.
And then Vince McMahon coming out at midfield in his huge Mr. McMahon voice.
Yeah, and that huge XFL jacket of his.
I basically wanted to watch it to see if it was going to be real football or if it was going to be some sort of sports entertainment, right? And it was real. Yeah, it was real football. And it was like, okay, this is good. I like football, but
I always laughed at the scramble for the ball, like to get possession.
Yeah, that was a little out there, but they had to try something.
Do you remember one guy like separated his shoulder doing it?
Yeah, another guy blew out his knee. Went sliding in there like a baseball player.
He just stood there like twitching.
It's just stupid, isn't it?
And what's funny is the guy that was the only MVP of the XFL ended up with your Steelers, Dino.
It did what, sorry?
Tommy Maddox.
Oh, God, why'd you mention him? Even Lance knows this. I had a Tommy Maddox shirt.
Yeah, Dino tried to pawn it off on me when I was there. He's like, hey, here's a shirt for you. And I go, well, I don't want this shirt, Dino. I'm a Cowboys fan. He goes, well, I just wanted to give you a shirt. And I go, well, why don't you give me your Mean Joe Green one then? He's like, no fucking way.
No fucking way. No chance.
Here's another fact about this pay-per-view. This is Rick Rude's last pay-per-view in WWE.
Oh, before he did DX?
Yeah. He left shortly after this.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if you remember. It was after this, he was like making fun of the boss man's mother. Him and Bobby Heenan, and then he like hated the angle and basically quit.
I just said to this day, if it wasn't for Rick Rude, Warrior wouldn't realise how good he was.
Yeah.
It was like like what Ric Flair did for Sting, Rick Rude did for the Warrior. No two words about it. Look at the title matches they had, Intercontinental and the tag and the Heavyweight Championship. You won't get that nowadays. The fact that they did this to him was just crazy. It was amazing as well. The fact that he just saw Rick Rude, he could have a match with anybody.
Yeah. Here you go, Lance. Dusty and his polka dots.
I cannot believe what he's done to me.
Yeah, this was when they kind of, back in the day, had the pay-per-views that just had interviews all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably, I forgot, because they were killing time to put up the blue cage.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see any of this? Because we didn't see anything like that at SummerSlam.
We didn't see any of this stuff.
I see. There you go.
Yeah,
Big
no, we
screen
didn't see
TVs
anything.
are too much.
I think they do that to the live crowd. I don't know why, but...
Well, interviews.
Yeah,
like
you
this.
don't see them.
Well, big screen TVs were probably how much back then, but the big.
Do you remember them?
Album back then.
Do you remember when they had Undertaker versus Mankind at SummerSlam, and it was the Boiler Room Brawl?
Yes.
They put TVs around the ring, and it was the big old-fashioned fat TVs that they didn't even put the big screens up above. It was little monitors on the front of next to the ring.
Yes.
That was terrible. That was the worst. It was like you bought all that money and went, how am I supposed to see on that? Really?
Even the guys in the front row wouldn't have a good view.
Yeah.
No? Terrible TVs.
It just makes me laugh because how long it took to put this friggin' cage up.
Oh, they're brutal. Oh, Lord Alfred Hayes. Brilliant. Oh, God rest his soul.
I remember watching some of his matches he did back in like the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah. He was brilliant. He was another one that sold WWF to the Brits. Because he was a commentator. Him and Gene was ones that did the Saturday afternoon things.
Yeah.
So, because he was the main he was the main presenter.
Holy crap! They don't even have half that damn ring up yet.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I could build that.
Yeah, you told me you used to build that.
Well, one of those things right there, one of those panels I used to build as a gate for, they call them deer fences, and basically I would build that right there, and it would swing so the deer couldn't jump over.
I was always going to say, Dino, I don't know if you guys had it over there, but on the Coliseum home videos, it was always Lord Alfred Hayes doing the color commentating.
Yeah, Lord Alfred Hayes was a big deal over here with WWF. Yeah, definitely. He always seemed to be it. And
here you go, another Hogan promo.
Like you said, they're killing time for that goddamn ring to get up.
What's funny is I vividly remember this. The boss man was not supposed to be the guy ringside with Hogan. It was supposed to be Tugboat.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Because Tugboat got beat up like a week or two before the pay-per-view. And then when he came back, I think he was a good guy for a little bit, and then they turned him.
Yeah.
I just always remember that friggin' Tugboat.
He was great.
He had a match on one of those old Coliseum videos. It was him and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Uncle Fred.
Yeah.
He's going to be known for the Shockmaster. No matter what he did or what he does the rest of his life, it's going to be that goddamn Shockmaster entrance in it. Hey, good or bad, it's down in wrestling history, right?
Yeah, hey, at least everybody will always know who he is.
Yeah.
Horrible way to be known, but it's not like he hurt himself or, But it was funny because I remember watching that live, and I'm like, oh my god.
He lost a ton of weight, too. The last I had seen him.
I got him as a friend on Facebook, and
I forgot you do.
He floods my feed more than half the people on there, because I really don't. I don't want him. Sometimes he puts up the same post 7 times in a row.
Oh,
I don't think he knows what he's. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Or a lot of times, I think his wife's doing it for him.
Gotcha.
So it'd be like, okay, here's a post. 2 minutes later, the same one. 3 minutes later, the exact same one. It's like, oh man,
Fucking Hogan like he's driving a Harley leaving.
Dear God, really?
There's Hot Rod.
Yeah.
I remember listening to his shoot. He said he hated doing this. But
he wanted to be in the ring, I think.
Yeah, well, Vince, he said, basically badgered him to death to do it, and he finally gave in.
He should have
They still don't have it done, Lance.
Yeah, they should have done a Kevin Nash. He should have said, "I'll do it if you give me this much more money."
Yeah, I that's a good idea.
And Vince McMahon gone, "You're fired."
Because I don't think Piper had a match again until like the Survivor Series when Flair came in.
He wrestled at... Yeah, he didn't, did he? No, you're right.
Yeah, the one we watched last week, he came out and did the bagpipe thing,
there
right?
you go, Lance and Dino. Look at them welts.
Oh, dear me.
I love how it looks like the Earthquake's like screaming into the mic. Hogan! Because you remember back in the day, that's all they loved to do is scream and yell into the microphone.
And then you got Jake Snake.
Yeah, who didn't need to.
No. Who do you think's got it like that now? Do you think Bray Wyatt will be classed... When you look back, when everybody looks back at Bray Wyatt, will they put Bray Wyatt like with Jake the Snake when he said he doesn't shout into his promos?
I absolutely agree with that.
I think it's right. I mean, some people don't know who Bray Wyatt was, and they said just watch his promos.
Ambrose, he doesn't yell either.
No, and he just came back to me and went, "Where's he been?" I went, "Do you know who his dad is?" And they went, "No," and I said, "It's IRS." I'm like, "Really?" And then I showed him Bo Dallas, and I went, "That's his brother." And they're like, "What is that IRS doing? Is he invading WWE on his own?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "But Bray Wyatt's phenomenal." Can you imagine? I mean, you look at Bray Wyatt now, and I can ask you too about this. But if ever that day comes and Vince says to him, "Right, we're going to put the belt on Bray Wyatt," can you imagine the reaction he's going to get when he wins it?
Oh, the crowd will go nuts.
Do you think it'll be the best thing ever? I mean, if he beats... My dream is like he beats Roman Reigns for the title.
Yeah.
I just don't want Roman Reigns. I want the Shield to get reunited, become badasses again, and then we've got the Shield versus whoever, and all that will kick off. And then Roman Reigns loses its title and everything, but... oh, look at this.
I'll never forget this because the Warrior tells a horrible joke here. He goes, he goes, "Do you know what Rick Rude and Bobby Heenan have in common with the Liberty Bell?" And Mean Gene goes, "Why, no." And the Warrior goes, "One is cracked and the other's a ding-dong."
Vince must have wrote that joke. That's a Vince joke there, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if Vince made him... Yeah, they probably got... Oh, what an ugly belt. That color. I like the gold and all, but...
He always did that to his belts.
Yeah, he did.
I always remember that. That's the one thing I always took away from Warrior. He did that.
I like the white one. I did like the white one.
Yeah.
But
Did you like the white one, Lance, or no?
I like the black with the gold, just old traditional. But for any of the colored ones, obviously the white one. And he had a yellow one too, didn't he? For a while. But this one's god awful. What is that? Blue?
Yeah.
Mike, just remember, we're asking a Canadian if he likes white when that's all they see for 8 months of the year.
Not here. Not where I live.
Yeah, he always tells me he lives in, like, the Bahamas of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have much and igloos here.
Mike, when Lance came over here and I met him for the first time, and my first impressions was he's got a jacket on and he's got shorts to his knees, and it was February, and it was like, whoa, what's... And every single person in the railway station kept looking at this guy with the long hair and the beard and these shorts and going, is he fucking crazy or what? And I just sat there.
It was nice there, Jesus.
I guess they're not used to wearing shorts.
In February? No, we're not. No.
I do the same thing. If it's
finally
not like,
up.
If it's below a certain temperature, I'll still wear them.
Yeah, that's me at the moment. When I'm in Tenerife next week, I'll be wearing them all the time.
Yeah. Now here, they don't. I'm assuming they don't have the big blue cage anymore. They got rid of it.
I think the last time we saw the big blue cage was Brett versus Owen.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, if it took that goddamn long to take it up, that's probably why they got rid of it.
Was there ever a better theme music than Rick Rude's?
No.
And his promos, I will all you like fat Philadelphia sweat hogs.
Yeah.
I was actually playing the new wrestling game, and I played as Rick Rude, and he actually does that in the game. He comes out at the beginning, and he comes in the ring, and he goes, I'd like to for all you fat, and I'm like, holy shit, they really went all in on his entrance.
Now, what was this?
In the new wrestling game.
Oh, really?
He actually does this in the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What,
he plays Rick Rude.
2K16?
Yeah, if you play Rick Rude and do his full intro, he does this.
Right, fair enough. I'll do it. I'll do it when I finish this.
That's awesome.
He was golden on the mic, though, weren't he?
You remember his WCW theme was good, too.
Yeah. It's just another one of them that was destined to be champion that never was. Because
that's why he said he left, because he thought Hogan held him down from getting the title.
Yeah. Did you notice, whenever he said the fat city sweat hogs, they always went to a big guy in the crowd?
Yeah, some fat-looking slob.
That poor bastard. That's his WWE legacy, or WWF is. Hey, I'm on this video. Check me out.
I'm the one they're referring to as a sweat hog.
Yeah.
I always loved Rude's tights because he always had some kind of cool thing that he had airbrushed on him.
When he had Jake the Snake Roberts' wife on his truck. That was genius.
So what do you guys got on the screen right now?
The Warrior running down to the ring.
Okay, I'm good. I had a little couple glitches there. I had to screw around with it.
There you go, Dino, with him shaking the cage.
Yeah. Can you just see them people that's put it up going, please don't snap. Please don't snap.
Yeah,
please don't snap.
Imagine if it broke and they had to start over. Jeez.
Yeah. Just
running around.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the match isn't going to be long.
Yeah. And then he climbed over the top of the rope, didn't he? He climbed over the cage.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, this is it. So, there you go.
Well, you know what I like about these... I don't know. There's a referee in there. Were you allowed to get pinned back then still, too? Because I know back in the day it was climb over or through the door, but now
it was escape. Yeah, escape however you could. I don't know if you could get pinned in this one or not.
Well, there's a referee in there. Why else would he be in there?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, disqualify him in a cage match. Yay.
Yeah, imagine that. I just laugh at the way Warrior was like clubbing him, where he looked like he was really laying him in.
I'll give Vince his joke. When he took that bump with Austin off the top of the cage,
yeah,
and landed on his coccyx and broke it. Dear me, he didn't have to do that.
No,
and
he didn't.
Austin says it. He didn't have to do that, and he just made it and everything. And
yeah, definitely, Vince. You're right. He didn't have to do any of those crazy stuff, but he wanted to, I guess.
He always wanted to please the fans, at least back then.
Oh, by the way, I've got. When you get fans and you get stupid requests.
Ooh.
Mike, have you had any requests since she's been started doing this of people that want you to do certain things?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh yeah, I'm not that famous then. I just had one yesterday. This kid said to me, and this is a proper message that I get every week from British Wrestling Radio. And one guy says to me, and he says, "Oh, I've thought of a way you can improve your ratings, and it will give you a bigger profile." And I went, "I'm all listening." He goes, "Have you ever heard of the Steve Austin podcast?"
Oh, dear God.
Now, listen to this. He says, "What you should do, you should give a British Wrestling Radio Award to the Podcast of the Year and give it to Steve Austin, because he says he's never received an award for his podcast yet." He says, "and he will give you so much publicity and it will improve your ratings." And I'm like, yeah, okay. And
That's right. That's right on the books. That's next in line, ain't Dino?
Which reminds me, for everyone listening, check out Dino's show. You can find his Facebook page, British Wrestling Radio. He goes live on Facebook every Friday. I think it's 5:30 Eastern.
Yeah, 5 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Which is it's 10 o'clock your time, right?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock evening. Yes.
Okay. So anyone that wants to check that out, go on Facebook and look up British Wrestling Radio, and you'll find him there.
Yeah, we go live. We go uncensored. We have no rules, no censorship. Everything. What you see is what you get. We don't say we're the best podcast in the world. It's we do it in his own special way, and nobody can beat us for that, which I'm very proud to say.
Hey, guys, this is when they still allowed blood, because Rude is busted open.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what bugged me about these old blue cages is they just had Rudy's going up real slow. If you wanted to climb that cage, look at it. It's like a ladder. You could be up in 5 seconds. You could be up and over and out.
Yeah.
But
hold on. Look how long it used to take them to climb ladders to this day. And that's a ladder, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It takes them 3-4 minutes to climb 2 steps of a ladder. I could climb faster than that, and I'd be pissed as a fart. So,
bam.
His paint's come off.
Yeah, he was really throwing him in there, wasn't he, lads?
Yeah, that's what my hair used to look like. I swear to God, now that is what my hair used to look like.
Bobby Heenan's?
Okay.
No, he's talking about the flock of seagulls look.
Yeah.
No, I used to have warrior hair like that. The worst thing is, I used to work for the professional rugby league club, which is like American football and all that. And the chairman used to say to me, "Dean, you'll never play for us when you've got hair like that." And I went, "Yeah, I will." And I signed a contract about just before this, I signed a contract to play for him. And I says, "Look at that, the first guy with permed hair ever to play professional." And he's like, "Get it cut." And I'm like, "No." And he went, "As your boss, I'm saying, get it cut." And I'm like, "I am not cutting my hair." So, I used to have this big mop of hair on my head playing rugby. It was great.
Yeah, I seen a picture of you there, Dino, and you had those, what are those things you put on your ears? Weren't you had a picture of you with those ear things on to protect your ears?
Oh, the tape around my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had big ears. I've got big ears, and I just had to protect my ears in some way. So I just put this white bandage round, and then put black tape round it just to stick my ears back. So
I didn't know. This is a new thing here in Canada. You know, we got our first professional rugby team, and they're from Toronto. They're actually going to play in one of your leagues over there.
Yeah, they're doing a 5. I think what they're doing is, I think it's like for an NFL thing, Mike. So Lance and Mike, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be playing 5 games over here, and then they're going to be playing 5 games in their place. So it's like 5-week stints of home games.
Oh, okay.
7 away games. And I swear the NFL are going to be looking at this and going, we could do this with the London thing. So that's the way they're going to be doing it at the moment. So
there you go, guys. Rude hits the Rude Awakening.
Yeah. Rude Awakening. Yeah, he's gone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
He's going to jump off the top?
Yeah, this was crazy, because back then you didn't see this.
Unless you were Jimmy Snooker.
Yeah. I always thought that was really impressive that Rude could do that.
Hey guys, did you hear about Jimmy Snuka yesterday?
Yes.
No, I didn't. What's up?
That he's probably going to be deemed not mentally capable to, like, stand trial.
Okay.
Because he has dementia, and the way they were talking is that his brain is probably like Swiss cheese.
Well, I think he's been like that for years. he's always just. I'm not saying that he's had dementia. I just mean he's always been a nut, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't remember last week. So how's he going to remember what happened 30 years ago?
Yeah.
So
here we go.
Wow.
Bam. Gee.
Lance, I'm like you. I'm still befuddled why there's a ref in there. Oh wow, they can't
here it
cover
goes.
him.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So this must be one of the first times they ever did that, because Hogan and Bundy was always get out. Hogan and Macho Man and whoever, they had their Hogan and Paul Orndorff, because they all had the blue
Hogan,
cages back then.
insert name here.
Yeah.
Well, now Dino, at this time, were you a big Warrior fan?
I was from when I first saw it.
Okay.
I was always a Warrior fan, always. So the first time I saw this is when I bought the video for itself. I think it was about 2-3 years later. I saw this, but it was just because Ultimate Warrior was on it. So.
Yeah, I'm with Dino. As soon as I seen Warrior, I was like, I like this guy. Well, I think a lot of it was the hair.
Yeah.
It was different. It was the hair, it was the wristbands, it was the tassels.
Oh, this is where they pull his pants. Oh, God, I remember that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, Rude didn't care. He's probably happy he got his butt showed.
Yeah, known Rude.
I think a lot of that he didn't get bigger push is I heard he was a little rough in the ring sometimes, and he had some substance abuse problems at the time.
Hogan was scared of him.
But it's...
Ooh, there goes Heenan. Look at that nasty bump.
He was sure good in there, wasn't he? He could flip-flop and...
Make it
a
believable.
flopper. Well, he did wrestle before he was a manager. He wrestled like 5 years, so...
Look at Warrior over there trying to be like Roman Reigns, get clotheslined and go into convulsions.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns doesn't do it.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. I love when he would do the rope shake, and he's here he goes. Ah!
When Batista used to do it, do you remember? When Batista used to do it.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the video of the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior?
I had that DVD.
What did I think about it?
Yeah,
I thought it was good, but it was so blatantly tainted one way, wasn't it?
It was a smear job.
Exactly.
Ooh.
I enjoyed it though.
Yeah. Next question for you. Who would be the next person they did a self-destruction of if they were going to do another DVD like that? Who would they have this time?
Well, it'd have to be Punk, wouldn't it? That's not that he self-destructed, it's just that they're not too happy with the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely do it. And
he's down.
Yeah, and he's mocking Rude, shaking his hips.
Well, twice Rude could have got out of the ring, but he decided to jump off the top, right?
Yeah.
The self-destruction, it would have to be CM Punk now, wouldn't it?
That's the only person I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. What was you doing at this moment, Mike?
Going crazy, because I liked the Warrior 2 back then. I liked him and Hogan.
So you were all good guys back then, Mike. Like you said, I guess you're 9 years old. Yeah, we all liked our good guys back then.
Yeah, after that, when I got older, I was the heel guy. Now I still am to a certain extent.
When I was a kid, my big face guys were Rick Martel and Tony Gurria. They were a tag team.
Yeah, I remember that. Day.
And that was my big face guys I liked. But I was a little kid.
Yeah. So fun.
I'm trying to remember who else.
Oh, I like Tony Atlas too.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I did. And that's it. And it's just geez, they just end it. Boom. Hogan gets the pose down, but Warrior don't. He just gets to swing his damn belt around.
For not even like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got, they did the CM Punk treatment to the Ultimate Warrior way before they did Punk treatment.
I always wonder if the UFC thing doesn't work out for Punk, if they're going to mend fences, him and Vince.
All they've got to do, I think all they've got to do with Punk is watch what happens with UFC. I still think we'll never see him in a ring. I think Dana White will just say, you've been a waste of time to me. We've had nearly 2.5 years now. Have you not even been in the ring yet? I just think now that he'll go back, and Vince will just have to say to Punk, you'll be in the main event of WrestleMania, and he's got him.
That's all he wants.
That's all he's ever wanted, was the main event at WrestleMania. That's it. As soon as if you offered Punk that, and say, here you go, oh, here's the main event, WrestleMania, you get to verse who you want and everything, you pick your opponent, go. He'll come back.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I think so. It's eventually going to happen.
I think so too. Like I posted in another group that I'm in, I said all the people that are hating on CM Punk right now are going to kiss his ass when he comes back.
Yeah, exactly. And every time when somebody does that, I will sit back and go, told you so. Because and you'll walk by down that ring with AJ Lee on his side. AJ Lee will be by his side when he walks down that ramp.
Nixie would lose her mind.
Can I tell you a little secret?
Yeah.
Lance, don't you say a word.
You're live on a show, Dino.
Yeah, I know. As long as Nixie don't hear this, then we're fine.
Well, you can listen to this.
Right.
We're safe.
June 18th, we're having soccer and spandex for the memory of Chris Travis and Cavendish Cancer Care, where he had his treatment. There's all these auctions that are out, and one of the auctions is for Mick Foley's outfit that he wore at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, we've also had there's a girl who's been getting us signed autographs and pictures and everything, and she's got us Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, Charlotte. She's got quite a few, but she's also giving me for Nixie signed AJ Lee T-shirts and pictures.
Oh wow, she's gonna go nuts.
Yeah, she's gonna flip.
Yeah, Dino, you can't keep a secret, can you?
I'm fucking shit, me. I don't care. It's 5 weeks today. I've got 5 weeks left before it. So, Lance, you still wanting a T-shirt from that as well?
I'm not exactly sure, Dino. I'll let you know within the next few days here.
It's all right, no problem. I've got to order that size, you see. That's all.
The biggest one you can.
Baby gorilla size.
Well, do you know what the best of it is? The woman that's done the T-shirt, she says, well, I can start to make kid sizes and I can go all the way up to 5XL. And I went, 5XL? She went, yeah, I can go up to that size. I'm like, wow.
That might be a little too big for me, but 3X is probably good. Yeah, get me a shirt, Dino. How much you want for that? How much are they?
They're just £15 plus postage, but we'll sort it. Let me get them all.
We'll figure it out.
New order, and I'll let you know. Man. No problem. But thanks for letting me on the show, guys. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're gonna get out of here, everybody. So don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you.
But just hold on before we go, Mike.
Yeah.
I just saying, if anybody wants us to do a show, because we're kind of already out of ideas almost. We did
I was going to tell you, talk about this later, but since you mentioned it, CB messaged me yesterday and said, could we do WrestleMania 20?
Oh, sure. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Because he said that's his favorite. I said, all right, well, we'll pick
I don't know about
2 or 3 matches.
Yeah, we can't do the whole damn show.
Yeah, but
no, I figured we could pick 2 or 3.
Yeah, as long as we don't have to do something like ECW December to Dismember.
That's not happening.
Yeah, good. Thank God for that. I watched that the other day, and I'm like, that's some hours of my life I'm never going to get back.
Yeah. But like Lance was saying before we jump out of here, if anyone else other than that has an idea of what they would like us to cover next, leave it in the comments below, and we'll try to work on that.
Right.
Awesome.
So thanks again, everyone. Like I was saying, don't forget to like, subscribe, share all that good shit, and we'll be back next week. So have a good one, everybody.
All right, take care, guys. Good night.